Hi everybody, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to a new day. Hope that you're doing well in this crazy time. And the topic today I want to talk about is very relevant to what we've been going through the last year, and that is friendship. Now, most of our friendships as we get older, are sort of developed early in our lives, maybe at college or before that in school. But I think we made a lot of our friendships in our work environment. And also, if you're a mom, with mom groups and other women that support you. And you find the theme with friendship up until this point in our lives has pretty much been a role. It's been associated with a role that we played, whether it's, being a mom or being a worker, and, sometimes very specific. And that often people will come into your life at a very specific point. They will be there for a reason because you're going through something that they are, or you've got some knowledge that you can share. And the other way around too, that friendships develop because you are needed in someone's life. You are going through, they're going through a phase that you have some expertise that you can add to. And the truth is that relationships do outgrow each other. You do sort of move through phases where they're of value for some point of time, and then they move on. So we go through these cycles, I think, as we go through life and different roles that we play. And then when we end our jobs, when either because we decide to retire, or because our jobs end, or because we just decide it's time to do something different, the roles around work and jobs fade away. And of course, with children, when the children leave home, they go to college. The things that held you together, the things that bonded you in conversation and caring issues, they're gone. So the friendships that we need to make when we get older are super, super difficult. And I think from a spiritual point of view, this article, by the way, by Deborah Garratt, was one of our bloggers, was very, very thoughtful to me, because I'm, going through this like so many people, trying to determine who are my friends that I have known forever and who are the ones that have come and gone in my life. And not to say, oh, I wish they were still here, or to linger over them, but to know that on some kind of a spiritual level, they were there to teach us something. And I suppose the ultimate one is our marriage. If we were married once or twice, or how many times you were together with someone, those people sometimes fill a gap that is missing in us, or as vice versa. As I said, we are filling that gap for them. And the attraction is so strong that we decide to do it together. We decide to go through this journey together. But one thing that Deborah says, and I don't know if it's going to sound kind of strange, and please take it the way that she writes it, and check out her article. It's very, very thoughtful. She sometimes talks about, in a spiritual level, how we form what she calls soul contracts with people. Very heavy thought, which is basically to say that we plan with people in our, when we're just getting started with this life, to actually connect with them. That we make a soul contract, that they're going to be a friend, they're going to be a connection in our life, this life that's going to be meaningful. And we know, in a way, it's not like preordained, but we know that there are going to be certain circumstances where these people may come into our lives and add huge, huge value. And they are there for the long term. Now, I don't know. I could talk about all my friends that I've met in school and now, have moved on to other things. I have a high school group on Facebook. Of course, you find these people over time. But the person I know the most is a woman called Mary. She lives in Canada. And Canada. She lives in Las Vegas, but she lived in Canada when I lived in Canada. And we were friends since I was 14, 15. Her mom was a huge inspiration to me in terms of soul contracts. I don't know her mom's background or whatever, but she was the woman I wanted to be. She was a working woman. This is back in the 60s, 50s. This is a long time ago. And she was a working woman. I admired her to no end. And so she was important. Came and gone. Mary has been with me forever, though. She has been by my side. We didn't see each other for many, many years, like 30 years. And then we met again, and now we're very close friends. It's more than friendship. It is a soulmate. And I think you've all probably got someone like that. Hopefully you've got someone like that who came into my life and through all the various lessons has been there. But there are some that come in for a lesson. They teach you what you need to know, and then they move on. And, I think it's important to know that we have to let go of things that were not meant to stay, and that some friendships are more complicated. Now, for women, I think it's a little challenging because we're much more expressive. I think that women tend to hold on to the questions, why didn't that work? Or how could I have done differently? Or was it my fault? Or, you kind of just go through this kind of self-assessment. Men, from my experience, and I think it's just general that is agreed, that men are less direct with their emotions. And so things are not so emotionally charged. They're not so amplified. But anyway, going back to the beginnings of relationships with mothers, I think that, mom relationships are very super powerful, especially with your first child, because nobody has a clue what they're doing, right? It's like, is that supposed to happen? Is that normal? And I remember my best friend back then was a lady called Elaine, and Elaine had a son, same age as my son, Nathan, and she and her son Giorgio were just buddies and good friends, and they've actually stayed in touch, and not excessively, but a lot of the friendships that your children make and that your family makes are related to the ones that you made. So it's kind of a cool a bond that has a multiple function. But finding new friends, even in that stage, is hard. But back in the day, remember the day before COVID, before all this stuff happened, that we were able to join, meetup groups, and even back then, though, it was just meeting in community groups, church groups, hospital, neonatal clinics where you'd meet the other moms and stay in touch. But it was easier. And then, of course, it got more complicated as you got older. And the other big category next to mothers is empty nest. Now, when you've got your empty nest, as they say, and your kids are gone, where do you go then to look for people with similar life experiences, and women women and men, but mostly, as we talk about 60andMe being exclusively for women, we'll talk about that. So for me, 60andMe is an option. It's a place where you can come, you can meet women, you can connect with other like-minded individuals, and you can actually share your life experiences. And it's really interesting. We have a support group called Patreon, patreon.com/60andme, Patreon. And it's a supporters group. It launched about maybe 3 years ago, and we reached out and asked people who wanted to support us to join Patreon. It's $3 a month membership fee, and it's online, exclusive. You get free videos, lots of exclusive videos. I take you on little trips with me when I go around the area, or it's a more personal place to go. And I only mention that because I think with communities like 60andMe, they're so big, there's like 500,000 women that come to our website. You need some smaller groups now. So we have these Patreon group where, you can have a conversation. And the reality is that as we've talked, and I've noticed in these Patreon live meetings, we have friendship lounges, we're talking about the same themes. What was it yesterday we were talking about? There was something really interesting. It was like, oh, I know. It was money. And I was saying I bought this new something, and a new hat. And I said, and it only cost me $5. And then I remember thinking, why did I say that? Like, does it matter how much it cost? And someone else said, I always say that too, Margaret. And then 4 or 5 other people came and said, I do too. And I think it's because a lot of us didn't have a lot of money when we were young, and we just feel that anything that's kind of frivolous, not like mainstream need for the kitchen, is like we have to explain, that we paid more money for it. Anyway, you get the idea that similar life lessons and experiences are the foundations for friendships as we get a little bit older. Friendships, female friendships, can endure ups and downs, but they can also be, sometimes there's jealousy and deceit, and you can sometimes load your problems onto other people. By the time we get to be 60, we've got a lot of experiences with loss and grief and sadness, and friendships that try to be built on those foundations usually are not so likely to survive, because the real handful of strong ones are relationships that are built on, just a kind of an acceptance of where we are right at this very moment. So friends later in life, men and women are very, very, very different. So think about your friends. Think about the friends that you've had all your life. Can you think of one that you've known since you were in your teens? Think about a friend that you made when you were having children or at work. And not necessarily that they're friends that are still with you. Think of friends that played a role in your life. And then think about what they taught you, what the lesson was. And then think about what you're looking for now. Think about the people that you are bringing into your life right now that are your friends, your girlfriends and your close friends. So do you still have friends from your childhood? I'd love to know about this. How many people have got friends from their childhood? I met Mary again on Facebook. I don't think we would have ever found each other again if we didn't find each other on Facebook. So we are lucky enough to, if we have someone in our minds, to be able to go back and find them. And maybe there's another reason they need to be in our lives now as we get older. I value my friends, especially our 16Me community, more now than ever before. So I hope that you get some joy here. I hope that you find it a place where you can have friendships, even at a superficial level, but maybe some of them, if you come join our Patreon group, will be ones that can last a longer time and, go deeper. So have a fabulous day, everybody. Hope that you're doing well. I hope that you've got good friends in your life. It's so, so important as we get older. Well, any age, but particularly as we get older. So stay well, stay healthy and safe, and we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.